Today is a landmark moment, not just for Mumbai, not just for Maharashtra, but for all of India and humanity that's battling this dreaded disease. Spearheading this initiative is a highly respected stalwart in the field of medicine. With over 50 publications to his credit in national and international journals, he was the first person to introduce thoracoscopic surgery. He was also recently awarded the Padma Shri by the Government of India. This visionary leader is the Chief of Thoracic Surgical Oncology, as well as the Director and Vice Executive Chairman here at the Asian Institute of Oncology. May I please invite the renowned Dr. Ramakant Deshpande to address our gathering.
Thank you. Honorable Shri Shinde Sahab, Dr. Advani sir, my friends at the dais and all the friends who are sitting here, thank you very much for having come on a Sunday for this function which has a very, very high importance in the lives of all of us. And particularly my personal thank you for our honorable chief guest today, the Honorable Home Minister of the country. Being one of the most important persons in the whole country, he has spared time to honor this and grace this occasion. Thank you very much. Asian Institute of Oncology, as Dr. Kulkarni mentioned just now, it began as basically an idea, as a concept on the Dussehra of 2002. There were almost about 12 to 15 of us consultants who, from various fields of oncology, some from medical oncology, some from surgery, some from rehabilitation, anesthesia, digestive diseases, all of us who are basically from ex-Tata Memorial Hospital, the Apex Cancer Center, which has a very, very long tradition of serving absolutely selflessly with an absolute ultimate standard in oncology in this country. So we all worked there for ages together. The senior most of us actually has an experience which extends the age of the youngest member of our youngest consultant. Dr. Advani started his practice in 1973. He became a consultant in 73. You can imagine it's 41 years, and many of our member consultants are less than that age. So this was a very diverse kind of a group. We were from a diverse disciplines, but we had one aim in common, that is to be part of a platform, to be part of an agency which actually will continue the mission of fighting cancer regardless, as what Dr. Desai would say. When we all started working together, we could actually serve the people. We could continue with our surgeries, the medical oncologies, etc. But we realized that outside of an institution, we cannot really do 2 or 3 things which are very important for us, particularly for our psyche, and that is the cancer education, educating the lay people about their superstitions, about their misunderstandings, their preventive understanding, education of cancer. That was one thing. Educating the younger generations so that they can be trained. Eventually, if we have to be treated for the same disease that we have spent our lives in treating, it's anybody's ambition that one should be treated by a person who is better than himself. And that can happen only if you transfer your skill. This is extremely important. And this is to be understood by every professional in every line in our country. So we realize that it is not important to be only an entrepreneur, but it is important to establish an institution, to establish a platform from where we can actually function. It's a very large country of more than 110 crore of people. But today, can we really boast of an institution like, say, an Oxford University, which was built in 1094 AD, which is nearly 1,000 years back it was built. Even today, it's one of the top 3 universities in the world. There is a sense of continuity there. So you need a sense of values, you need a sense of understanding, dedication, hard work, so on and so forth, to build institutions of that magnitude and that standing. Only then your people are going to be really good, be it medicine, be it law, anything. And when we used to have our brainstorming sessions every Wednesday, we actually realized over a period of time, no, we can actually do our work much better through a medium of an institution. And that's how Asian Institute of Oncology came into being. As a child would dodder and fall many times, it would make mistake. We also had initial difficulties. We started our work initially at the Wellspring Clinic of the Piramals, where we had only outpatient clinics for almost about a year. We realized it's not going to really help us. We went into the SL Raheja Hospital for nearly about 10 years. From 2002 to 2012, we functioned from there, where we actually got an identity. We achieved a critical mass where we could deliver the same health care. We could come up to some level of educational activity, some level of research activity that what we had in our mind. But we realized that our goals of creating an institution of an outstanding caliber can actually be established in a place where an educational spirit thrives. And that is why we actually are most obliged to the Somaiya family. I personally have interacted with Shantilalji, Samirji's father, and his vision was absolutely wonderful. To create educational institutions of excellence, where service also happens to be a motto, and there has to be a sense of continuation. And that is why we are here today in the Somaiya Ayurvihar Asian Institute of Oncology. Our aim is to, as I mentioned, is to create an institution where service, research, and education all will exist side by side to the utmost level of perfection. We will hand over all the education, whatever we have received from our institutions of excellence. All of us have been trained in Tata Hospital. Most of us have gone abroad to Sloan Kettering, to Royal Marsden, to many other universities. Many of us have been teachers, even abroad. We have been examiners, demonstration of surgery, everything. We would like to actually transfer all that knowledge to the next generation, not only in this institution, but to institutions across the country. When you speak from the platform of an institution, from a teaching institution, another institution treats you with respect. We already have actually existing collaborations. One of them is in Mira Road. There is a hospital, Umrao Hospital, with whom we have already entered into a collaboration. We are entering into collaborations with Goan institutions. So we would actually get their postgraduate students, their surgeons into our fold. We will train them, we will teach them, and we will expand the base of oncology treatments. So this way, an overall standard we aim to actually improve. This is our ultimate aim. There are lessons for all of us also. We are basically a group of professionals. Every professional ultimately wants to practice his own profession to the ultimate thing. And if you really analyze what is an average doctor or average lawyer or average chartered accountant, what is in his mind is, okay, I will set up a shop, I will start practice, I will earn money. Yes, it's very good. It is kind of a selfish motive so that, self thrives, family thrives, everything. But we must also realize that a lot of times this self is best served if you actually mix that self with a common good. The common good here is to root this whole action of ours through the means of an institution where a common good, where everything, the whole ethos actually is towards betterment of the society. You live in a better society, you become a better person. You are treated by better people. And that is the ultimate understanding of life for all of us at the Asian Institute of Oncology. We have our aim of creating an institution. You can see the model there on the left here, that in the next 3 years, 150,000 square feet independent building is going to come up next to the Medical College Hospital. This will be almost about 200-bedded cancer hospital with 50 beds of hospice, and that's how the platform is only going to become bigger. We have taken a road which was less traveled, and our crowd is slowly and steadily increasing. We invite people from all like-minded people in this particular specialty. The whole idea is to make it really comprehensive. What a patient actually puts in is not only that particular money or the surgery that he undergoes or the chemotherapy that he undergoes. When you give him a diagnosis, there is a psychosocial, mental impact on that particular individual, on the family. The person takes leave, he goes to the doctor for investigations, he waits there, along with his friends, every life is getting disrupted. Then he gets treated when all the tensions are going on. If it's a very major surgery, will he come out or not? So on and so forth. He goes back, the rehabilitation problem. All this is basically the cost of that particular disease to be treated. We do understand that. But similarly, a doctor cannot really expect only that money as a return. You also get the happiness. A smile on a patient's face is worth millions of rupees. Quite often, that may be the only thing the patient may be able to pay, but that is definitely worth it. If you really go through the whole psyche of the doctor and patient relation, today, nobody really touches a life of an individual as much as what a doctor can really do. And that's why we are very lucky, we are honored, we are blessed by the God to have put us into this particular profession. We are blessed by associations. We are thankful to associations like the Somaiya who have given us a platform for this. And that is why we always start all the work with a prayer, and ultimately we end it with a thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The Asian Institute of Oncology is very proud and honored to be supported by the legendary Somaiya Group. Padma Bhushan Pujya Shri K.J. Somaiya's vision of quality education, affordable healthcare, preserving and promoting art and culture, promoting learning, tribal welfare, women empowerment, all of this has been ably taken forward. And today, the group is proud to have 43 institutes empowering over 35,000 students across 7 campuses in Mumbai. Taking the legacy ahead from strength to strength is Mr. Samir Somaiya, Chairman and Managing Director of the group. He presides over numerous organizations and initiatives and has been responsible for remarkable socio-economic and educational growth of the city, the state, and the country. Ladies and gentlemen, may I please invite the very dynamic Mr. Samir Somaiya to address our gathering.